That's true. It's true. It's true. It's damn true. What are we going to be talking about tonight? How did this all start with all the turmoil? Well, it's been going on since 2014 when Ferguson started their riots. George Soros and Obama hired a bunch of losers to do protesting, but it turned into a riot. So let me ask you a question. So these days are called protests or riots now? We're going to talk about it. Glenn Beck, like I said, move over. You sold out to the NWO. And the NWO is in this. Scott Hall versus Scott Dawson. Then you got Seth Rollins, Shane McMahon. Why? Why am I having to do game designing and the news at the same time? I'll tell you why. Because Barack Hussein Obama signed the executive order October the 1st, 2016, that this was going to happen. As we fast forward to 2018, now net reality has come in effect. Thank you for the like. Now, how to figure all this out. Obama signed the executive order on the FEMA death camps. But I've got news for you. It wasn't just Obama, though, folks. It was all of them. They had a plan. The reason we haven't seen the chip yet, and we haven't seen the microchip yet, they got to get rid of all the illegal immigrants they call illegal that come in here and voted for Obama. Their plan was to bring these illegal immigrants in here so they can kill them off. That was their plan. They gave them money, gave them food stamps, our food stamps. And now we're figuring it out. It's all turmoil for the Democrats and the Republicans for you to kill each other, when you need to be the ones to tear their heads off. Look, if you keep on backing in and backing out, you're not going to stay here, because they have been deleting and blocking and kicking everybody off that unsubscribes and subscribes and comes in and don't come in and all that. Is something wrong with the screen? Let me go check it out. Maybe something's wrong with the screen. Let's check it out. For crying out loud, I can't keep up. So, I left you with the NASCAR game is going to be coming out on a Friday, not on a Tuesday. Well, I'm looking at October the 19th when the WWE game comes out. And I have not seen the same thing yet. This is what's going on with Kilauea. Kilauea is getting worse and worse and worse. Homes being destroyed. This is just coming in from my thing. But why does the Democrats think the Republicans are not the same? Well, the Simpsons have showed you. We'll start the tournament. But the Simpsons have showed you that we were going to have a problem with red and blue maps. The reason they want you to vote, your vote don't count, guys. The reason they want you to vote, and I just found this out from the brash one, that The Rock wants to come back to WWE. Well, that's funny, Sean, because guess what? He wants to run for president. So is it what I predicted? That The Rock wants to come to a WWE ring and promote his election? Makes you want to say, But I will tell you this, in 2021, it will be the worst of your life. 2021 will be the worst for the kids, for the women, and for the men. I have a feeling that this year and the next couple of years is going to be a down slope. We're going to go downhill. Because after Trump leaves, they're going to blame Trump on everything, folks. But you got to remember, Trump did do a lot of this. Okay? But Obama has too. The Clintons have too. The Bushes have too. Have you seen any president that's even worth a damn? I haven't. Not in my lifetime. So we're going to go into this, and I want you to learn something. That the Democrats and Republicans are together. And I've already told you that in one of my videos, that the elites said they control both. The ones that walked away from the pedophile government. So, it's all true. If you vote, I have a feeling you'll have a dot on your mailbox. I don't. Do you know why? Because I'm not in it to win it. I'm in it to destroy whoever shows up on our property. And by the way, I've just found this out. Nobody owns their property no more. Nobody. Here you go, folks. Check this out.
For Americans, the colors red and blue are deeply linked to the Republican and Democratic parties, but it's really only been that way since the 2000 election. After all, this is what election night results used to look like on American TV.
Victory. Gentlemen, let me tell you this, if they ever teach this machine to talk, you and I, well, we're out of business.
The wide adoption of color television in the late 1960s and 1970s changed all that, but it's several decades before the media settled on the color scheme we know today.
What are the hardest states to turn from blue to red, and what are the easy ones? President Obama has won every one of these blue states.
He has to turn states that have been voting blue.
To understand where this red state, blue state business comes from.
Okay, first of all, Obama didn't win by your votes. African Americans, the ones that voted, they know right where you're at, and they're going to kill you. I just want you to know that. I want you to be ready. Okay? Mexicans, if you voted, they're coming after you. I'm just telling you right now. I want you to be ready. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to get you fucking ready. That we need to take down the NWO. If we don't, they have won. They have won and took your freedom. They're jealous of our freedom. And it's not the Americans that's doing it. It's people outside of the United States that's paying your fake Americans. Okay, folks? I want you to know that. The Simpsons are right. Every vote never counted. I don't even watch cartoons. But why would they put it out on the cartoons? Just think about that. In a couple of hours, Putin and Donald Trump will be meeting for the 4th time. What are they setting us up for? Murder. They're about to come in and take our freedom, folks. And if you don't fight back, then why are you here? Why are you in America? If you don't fight back, leave. We'll help you pack your bags. And I don't care if you're Christians or what, but your kids are being murdered and raped. And if you don't care about your kids, and I see you don't care about your kids, you will be destroyed. You will be destroyed, and you're going to wish you never had a child. Because you need to grow up. You need to grow up.
Let's go back to the very first time a television network used color maps to report election results. That happened in 1972, which also was the first year that a majority of American television households owned color TVs. Each of the big three networks broadcasted their election coverage in color. But here's what CBS did to differentiate themselves from their competition. They created the first color election map in American television history. And just look at Alabama on CBS's map. That oh-so-reliable conservative state, it was colored pure Republican blue. No, your eyes were not deceiving you. The states that Republican Richard Nixon won that night in his 1972 landslide victory were colored blue on the CBS map. CBS's great broadcast innovation would soon inspire the other networks to introduce red and blue maps to their own election night broadcasts. For its part, CBS would keep the Republican blue and Democratic red scheme through the 1980 election.
For Reagan, well, it's a different story. They're shown in blue, and this country is almost solidly in the Reagan colors tonight.
Those pairings may seem odd today, but they weren't back then. That's because blue, as NPR's Ron Elving has noted, was a color closely associated with the Union Army, led by Republican Abraham Lincoln. Red, on the other hand, was a color associated with leftists and left-leaning parties throughout the world, as it is today. In fact, NBC's 1976 election chief told the Smithsonian Magazine that it was British Tory blue and Labour Party red that influenced...
Okay. Red is left, blue is right. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to be right and you're going to be left in the dust. Because I've got ex-CIA and ex-NSA telling me what's going on because they worked in the beast, the belly of the beast. So don't sit here and think that our Americans are going to come and take your guns. It's not going to be. It's going to be the UN, Japan, North Korea, China, South Korea. They've been training folks for a long, long time. They were waiting on the chip to come in. I just want you to know that. But they're so behind on the chip. We got at least 25 more years left. There's no chip here yet. They can't get it right. They think the internet's God and it's not. And they're controlling the weather. Well, guess what? I have a feeling they're not going to have the control of the weather very, very soon because when wormwood comes across under from the equator, there won't be no more controlling of the weather anymore. The NWO will be dead. They'll be dead. Where they're putting their underground bunkers is gone. And I'll show that map very, very soon. I'm going to show you where they're putting their underground facilities are and where is the food and everything. There's food in Alaska, and there's food in the middle of the United States underground. They're taking all your food from your grocery stores and your Walmarts that they shut down and carried them downstairs. They even took Toys R Us's toys underground for the kids so they can have something to play with. Why, after every lunch or every dinner or breakfast, they're having sex with them. I just thought you might want to know the truth. I hope it pisses you off so bad that you will go after the government. Because that's what we're going to do. With or without you. I have a feeling that you will be fighting back. The only reason y'all are not saying anything is because you're a coward piece of shit. And that's the truth. By the way, red means Democrat, blue means Republican, and it doesn't really mean damn shit and thing. Because none of it was fucking true.
NBC to go with this color scheme for 20 years.
It's beginning to look like a suburban swimming pool over there.
Walter Mondale, the winner of the state of Minnesota, colored red tonight for Walter Mondale. It is shaping up as a George Bush map as we look at it back there.
It certainly is, Tom.
He goes into the Clinton column after having voted with the Republicans the last 3 times. And as you can see, we color in the state of Kentucky.
ABC News, on the other hand, had its own state color logic.
Red states are states that we have projected having gone for Mr. Reagan. Red are Reagan. That's why we chose red.
By 1996, ABC and CBS had used the now familiar Democratic blue states and Republican red states on their maps over several election cycles. So NBC decided to make the switch too for a very simple reason.
NBC decided to adapt the same color pattern as ABC and CBS, so as not to.
Do you realize Republican and Democrats been fighting against each other just to piss you off? Did you know that? Or are you that stupid? My grandfather even said it. He said, you know they're fighting against each other and they're pissing everybody off. It's going to come to an head. It's really going to come to a head very, very soon. Because when they find out and they realize the internet is gone and the Facebook and YouTube's gone, that will be the sign to get underground, because they cut our news off to let you know what was coming and that you're going to be out without power, the internet and everything. And we're going to see it hitting us. And they're already going to be underground. If you don't see your elites, your Hollywood stars, or your news, or any of them, and they disappear, you know you're in deep shit.
Have a confusion for the viewers.
But it wasn't until the 2000 election that the political concept or term red state versus blue state took hold. On that election night, the network anchors and pundits relied heavily on the colored maps to explain how close the race was between George W. Bush and Al Gore. Very soon, those red states and blue states that the country saw over and over again on TV became rooted in American culture. David Letterman was one of the earliest cultural figures to pick up on this just a few days after the 2000 election.
Candidates have worked out a compromise, and thank God not a minute too soon. Here's how it's going to go. George W. Bush will be president for the red states. Al W. Gore will be president for the blue states. That's the best thing we can do.
Those same television maps would also help make red state and blue state a popular term among political pundits and newspaper headline writers. It was useful shorthand as memories of the 2000 election were burned into the American psyche. Over time, the term came to mean not just the states that voted for Bush and Gore, but also a way to describe the cultural values associated with American electoral geography. All this was not lost on then State Senator Barack Obama when he addressed the DNC in 2004.
The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states. Red states for Republicans, blue states for Democrats.
But come election night in 2004, the term, the coloring, and the maps still stuck. Now you can see.
But guess what? Obama was a Republican. Do you know how I know this? Because he's rich and he's a Freemason. How do you like that? Mocha, California. When he came in office, he was wearing a blue tie. Well, get this. Get this. Remember, red is Democrat. But he was wearing a blue tie. Same thing with Donald Trump. He wears a blue and red tie. He said in his book, it did not matter if he was a Republican or a Democrat, that they both control each other. I thought you might want to know that, since some of y'all don't understand reverse psychology. Reverse psychology means if you believe in something, usually it's not the truth because you've been fed nothing but a bunch of lies. That's what I'm trying to get at. Don't vote, guys. Don't vote. I'm trying to save your lives. I care. If you vote, like I said, if you vote Republican or Democrat and you haven't done what the government's asked you to do, if you do vote, you need to change your mailbox to a P.O. box so they won't know where you're at. You see where I'm coming from? Don't use your boxes no more. You need to share this for everyone, because this is what Kevin Shipp and Edward Snowden said, to stay under the radar until the invasion happens. You need to do that. And you need to dig underground to put your guns there until the invasion starts. Because now they're bringing in cops to just check your house. If a neighbor calls and says there's a disturbance and it's not true, they have the right to check your house without a warrant now. I thought you might want to know that. So you might want to hide your pot or your drugs or whatever you want to do. But I'm just giving you heads up. I thought you might want to know that. That's why Dale retired. He said the rules are different and it's changed and he don't like it. It's not police rules. It's gangster bullying rules.
The red and blue terminology all over the place in American life. It's in modern party iconography, it's in the names of consulting groups and coffee brands, and even at this Kentucky barbecue joint.
The Red State Barbecue.
There's even a color now for states that could vote either Democratic or Republican. And while many may lament the divisions that the terms have brought to the country, maybe they should look on the bright side. At least it inspired CBS's Harry Smith to record this amazing song.
I'm from a red state.
I'm from a blue one.
We met in the middle and don't see eye to eye. She's a bleeding heart.
Yours is made of stone.
Sometimes I wonder how we get by.
But when the talk turns to love and the words don't matter, all of the division is smiling.
That's hilarious. That's sad, but it's hilarious. So you think the FEMA camps are not for you? Think again. And I tried to warn you. I tried to warn everybody. Even tried to warn my online gaming buddies, but they don't want to do nothing but sit there and play PlayStation and Xbox and worry about life, worry about nothing. No. World War II history says it all. German and Jews still rule the world as we are here in 2018. Who's with each other right now? Angela Merkel and Donald Trump. Think about it. All right, let's go to the next one. I mean, how stupid can you get? I mean, and then they sit there and say Mayor Giuliani didn't have nothing to do with 9/11. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He knew that was going to happen too. I don't understand why people think that. I don't know. People need to wake up though. Let's go to the next news. We got some news here. Oh yeah, breaking news. Yeah. Israel attacks Syria again. Missiles goes into Syria again. Remember, Damascus has to be destroyed, and then it will be the red carpet for the World War III. Just remember that. I thought you might want to know. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. This is a great one. Check this out. And I hate to break the news to you, Obama's not the man. Okay? He's not the man that's coming back. He's not. He's too a wuss. He's a wuss, guys. He cries when they try to take your guns, and he does this and he does that. He took our troops out of the war, and that all he's good at is writing executive order out. That's about it. So I thought you might want to know that. If anybody brings back martial law, Rex 84, it's going to be Trump, folks. It's going to be Trump. It's already here. It happened last year during Hurricane Harvey, and it's happening again this year. It's happening during the fires. So remember that. All right, Obama versus Trump. How about this? Change it up. Obama and Trump in a tag team match against you. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay.
I sent out a notice to you stating that I would be pointing out how Satan has sent Obama to destroy America. I've given you phase one of it through the agenda that Christine Quinn and many others are promoting. But I want to now state that he's also using the African American or former slaves to bully whip, to push America around for slavery, to demoralize America, to put patriot against liberal Americans, to put conservatives against Republicans, to put white against black. This is an explosive subject matter, slavery and black people. You can't begin to imagine how many people who will not even, who've got an opinion, who not only do they have the opinion, but they know the truth about black people in America. They understand that this nation is being destroyed, but yet...
Remember, Kamala Smith is from India too. I thought you might want to know that. That's trying to run for president. And she is in the same agenda Obama is doing. Black and white don't want to fight against each other. It looks like the blacks wants to fight against the blacks.
They recognize that they cannot speak out publicly. They cannot express the truth or their public opinion about black people. They could very easily lose their jobs. They could lose their homes. Banks recall their mortgages, be investigated by the IRS, be put out of their local church. I mean, there are two subject matters now that cannot be discussed publicly. One is homosexuality, and the other is black people. You cannot discuss either one of those subjects. In fact, there is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of the First Amendment regarding black people or homosexual people. The First Amendment no longer exists.
And get this, Obama's not even black. He's Muslim. He already announced it. He's already admitted that he's not black.
That amendment has been duly taken out of the Constitution, or if you do speak out against either of these groups, as I said before, investigated by the IRS, your mortgage called in, lose your job, get put out of your local church. But here, let me just dwell on the African American people. The devil is using black people, and he's using the spirit of the slavery spirit to cause hatred, animus against the American government and white society in order to destroy it. And Obama came in that mask and in that carton. But let me let you know, when Obama first started running, Louis Farrakhan, one of the biggest haters of white folk since the devil himself, came up and said that Obama is the Messiah and all people ought to follow, meaning that he is Jesus. Louis Farrakhan said that Obama is the Messiah, means that Jesus has returned in Obama. We got that on record. Everybody knows it. I don't have to reproduce that for you. But now Jamie Foxx, a well-known black actor, has called Obama our Lord and our...
Here we go again. Jamie Foxx, you're right, sir. He is an actor. An actor. Everything's a delusion right now. You're being delusioned. Obama did not make me, and Obama didn't make you. Hell, the devil didn't even make you. He didn't do nothing but tell Adam and Eve to take a bite of an apple. He don't give a shit about you. He actually wants to kill you. That's what the devil does. I don't call it the devil, I call it the NWO. Because they're not just one person doing this, folks. It's 13 of them. And what's happening on Friday? Friday the 13th? Could that be the day that the volcanoes erupt? Because it is man-made. I'm telling you, something is about to happen. While Donald Trump out of the United States. Remember that, folks. Remember that. And so is Obama. He's not even around either.
Savior. Blasphemy at the height of blasphemy. But this is where all black people are. I'm going to let you listen to Jamie Foxx, and then I'll be back with helping you understand how Obama has been sent by Satan to destroy America.
First of all, giving honor to God and our Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Y'all stand up.
Okay, all right, everybody, there it is. That's Jamie Foxx, his well-known voice, and you know who he is. He is praying.
He's a clown.
To his God. And let me say something to you, my friend. Don't you maybe you got black friends on your job. Maybe you go to college with some of them. And maybe you're liberal and you think that, all right, you like Obama, but you ain't really call him God. And I mean, tell something to some of y'all up there in Harvard and Yale and y'all in all these liberal media places and newspapers and one thing after the other, where black people, they all work together, they all consider themselves liberal, and they all just discuss, and the white people, they just suffocate black people with their, well, you've been so oppressed, you've been so beaten up, and you've been so...
Look, they're even saying Trump is God. I don't believe in that either. I don't care if you're a Trump fan or Obama fan or anybody's fan. They're not the ones that didn't make Trump or Obama. The bankers made Trump and Obama, not you. And that's why I'm saying you need to wake up. You have nothing for it. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. When these volcanoes erupt and these earthquakes go down like they're supposed to, man-made, and the volcano's ash covers the whole earth, you're not going to see the fireballs coming out of nowhere. This is what just happened. About an hour ago, my advisor told me there is another dust storm coming from Africa, and it's bigger than the other one. It's going to cover Florida and Houston. Some parts of Gulf Shores, Mississippi, Louisiana, the South beaches are going to be covered with dust. This is probably going to be the biggest dust storm I've ever seen. But this is signs. These dust storms that we're seeing are signs, are big in number of hurricanes that's coming. And I told you this was coming. And everybody, the news has been telling you that it was going to be a weak hurricane season. I'm going to tell you right now, you better buckle up. You better buckle up. Because the lightning's going to get worse. Hell is going to get worse. The tornadoes are going to get worse. Geostorming is here, folks. And if you don't know what that is, you need to go look it up. California is in trouble. Some idiot sends me a message, and you got blocked, punk. Told me that I haven't been warning California. Dumbass, I've been warning California for 2 months now. Longer than that. And don't come back at me with a fake channel. Humbay, with OMI on there. Without a video on your YouTube channel. You're fake. You're Donald Trump. You're Obama. And you are fake news. See, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm going to go head to head against you. I'm not like all the other video and all the other YouTube channels. I'm going to make you my bitch. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to wake your ass up and grow up.
Everything's been unfair against you, and white people just suffocate black people. When we're going to help you, we're going to defend you. Can't nobody say nothing against you. They just suffocate you. Well, let me say something to you, you white folks. Let me say something to y'all. Let me tell you something. These black folk don't like you any more than the black folk that you don't like.
You're wrong. I've got black folks that likes me, and I've got black folks in my family. So shut the fuck up, you stupid dumbass son of a bitch. You're not a preacher. I'm calling you out. You're not a preacher. You're an actor. And the preachers these days are just like the ones in a show. Black, white, Hispanic is going to work together or they will be buried alive. If you're not fighting with us, you just better move out of the way because it's going to be friendly fire.
The white folk that you don't like, you need to get that in your mind. You need to get that in your head. You need to step back, stop all this suffocating of black people on the news programs, all these news pundits and commentators and black writers for newspapers and the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. You white people, you suffocate black people with all this sympathy. You suffocate them. You've been so ill-treated and then one thing after the other. But you need to step back, homie, and you're going to discover that these black people don't like you. You white. You white. And they when the rubber meets the road, like Obama said, when the rubber meets the road, he gonna side with the Muslims. When the rubber meets the road, these black folk that you suffocate with ain't gonna side with. They're gonna side with the hood. They're gonna side with black folk.
No,
you liberals. You need to understand that. This Jamie Foxx, you run around in the Hollywood.
Okay. If the white folks are not going to help the black folks, then who are they going to... Okay, so you're going to stand with North Korea that's about to blow your head off? You better stand with us. Because not all white folks are going to fight with the blacks. All white folks and blacks and Hispanic and Muslims are going to work together. The good Muslims that take down Russia, North Korea, China, South Korea, North Korea. Because I'm telling you folks, Europe's coming. And that is the guy that's got the gash in his head. I'm telling you, it's not Barack Hussein Obama. He don't have a gash in his head, folks. You're being deceived and you're being delusioned. The gash in the head was in none other than the car wreck with Princess Diana. Is none other than Prince Williams, folks. Prince Williams is the one that has been in Jerusalem and he's been in Israel meeting last month. And what was last month, folks, when I told you? I said it on my Facebook before they blocked me or hacked me. Because they knew I was telling the truth. It is none other than Prince Williams. And he's on his throne right now, about to be the king. And what did Prince Williams say to Barack Hussein Obama on Twitter? Everyone must die. And he said that last summer, before the 21st of August. So I want you to remember what I'm saying right now. You're running out of time. You've only got 23 months left. Gun confiscation starts when the hurricanes come in. They could be using dust storms, folks. I want you to be ready for anything. I haven't got information on that yet. But I know they're using hurricanes, earthquakes, and volcanoes in fires, forest fires, along with tornadoes. Yes. We had over 4,500 people dead in 2011. It was set up. Geoengineering. We found that out. They murdered a bunch of people down here in Alabama. So I want you to know that. They're using these tornadoes and hurricanes because they're cowards. They can't fight against us because they've already gotten rid of the army. The only army that's left now. And I think a lot of the foreigners don't want to come in here because they know we're going to fight. We're going to give them a fight. The one that's watching right now, only one person. Which I know I'll get more views after the live. Always. I got more views on the last one. And the more views on the other one. So, like I said, they have been deleting. And they've been trying to hide my videos and everything on YouTube. And it's not even working. Because it's on Facebook. And I got a bunch of people watching. I've got a lot of people watching, and I really appreciate y'all. But it ain't about me. It's about you. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for my grandfather or our freedom. I woke up in 2014. That's when I woke up. I should have woke up in 2005 when I heard about the hurricanes in Katrina. But I had no idea. I hid myself in the hurricanes. I hid myself out of the internet. I did not show up on the internet until 2011 playing NASCAR online. I didn't show up on YouTube and Facebook. YouTube was 2014. I started watching and investigating stuff on YouTube when Carmen sent me the message about the Red China Sea. That's what woke me up. But it really woke me up when that Ferguson situation was happening. I had to investigate. I said, something's up. It smells like a sour apple. So I'm on here to warn you because I care. But the question is, do you care? Are you awake? That's the question. That's the question. We're not done. We got more to go.
Said all them Hollywood people, actors and everything, and all the black actors and all the white actors and musicians, they all get together, the big cocaine parties, and go to all their ritzy parties and everything, and you get passed because you're black, and we're trying to undo all slavery, trying to do all that unrighteousness, and all that Jim Crow white folk are trying to undo it, so Jamie Foxx gets movies and gets passed and gets plays, but when the rubber meets the road, Mr. White Man, Mr. Liberal, suffocating black folk, white man, when the rubber meets the road, Jamie Foxx, he's going with the hood. And I'm sure you don't approve. I mean, you may, okay, you got money, you got it going on, your daddy got money, your money got grandmama's money, you got money, you don't have no problems, you got privilege, go anywhere you want, do anything you want to do anytime you want to do it, you got it like that. So you figure, I'll keep some of the black people and get these white folk, all crackheads and cocaine heads, you know. So you figure, but you've spent so much time suffocating the black man, you haven't had time to take a look at who he really is. You haven't time to take a look at who Jamie Foxx really is. He don't like you. He don't like you. He don't like you. But the other thing is, I'm sure you don't like the fact that he's now saying Barack Obama is God. You may like Obama, but you don't think he's God. I ain't heard no white folks say Obama's God yet. I ain't heard no white folk, because I think some of them crazy enough to do it. But I ain't heard no white folk get up and pray, our God, Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. I ain't heard no white folk do that yet. Because the rubber meets the road. I mean, you're just trying to help. You know, you don't think Obama's that great anyway, but you're trying to help, trying to get back at your daddy. Made you go to school, you know, wouldn't let you have your homosexual friend in the bedroom when you want. So you want to get back at your mama and your daddy. So you'll go and you'll befriend a black person. We all know how that game goes. But I'm going to tell you something. When the rubber meets the road, Jamie Foxx going to hang out in the hood. When the rubber meets the road, Jamie Foxx is going to enlist with Farrakhan. Yeah, that's right. That's right. No doubt about it. I'm James David Manning, everybody. Satan has sent Obama to destroy America, and he's 90% to having got it done. It's just a matter now of due course. Over the next few years, you're going to see this nation come apart like you ain't never seen nothing come apart. That's right. I'm James David Manning. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, I got news for you, buddy. Not if I have something to do with it. And that's why I came on YouTube. We're going to separate the bad from the good and the ugly. I came online because we need to work together. If we don't, if you've never seen a Chinese whipping contest, you're going to be in one. If you have seen one, you know what I'm talking about. They used razors on the chains. I've seen more blood in China than I have anywhere. You don't know what you're in for if you fight against the white and black. You don't. Guys, I've seen women get beat and whipped from a Chinese whipping contest, and it's awful. It's awful, folks. They tie them up and they absolutely kill them. They whip them so hard, they kill them. And you don't want to be involved. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to be involved. You want to shoot and kill back. You don't understand, folks. China has a bigger army than anybody. They got 4 billion people. In 2011, it was 1 billion. They've been having sex a lot lately. And we haven't. Because we're grounded because the economy is crashing. Nobody wants to be with nobody because the economy is crashing. I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody wants to be with nobody because nobody's got jobs. And it's all set up and controlled by none other than the 13 world banks, folks. So there you have it. Let's see here. We're not done. Got more.
I want to remind you to listen to the Manor Report 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we are encouraging people now to join the Manning Report Automobile Club. That is to say that you are going to listen to the Manning Report while driving around in your automobile. Now, this can be done very simply by you. If you have
the reason I came and let you listen to this guy, some of it's making sense and some of it's not. And I'm just telling you right now, we can rewrite history. World War I, it was racist. World War II, racist. Civil War, racist. We can change that. Michael Jackson was trying to tell you to change it, but you didn't want to listen to him. So he faked his death and turned himself into Dave. He got rid of his area and now he's somebody else. Wicked. It's crazy. It's true, guys. It's true. So, I'm surprised not that many people watching tonight. Amy's not feeling good tonight, and neither is Austin. I hope y'all get to feeling better. I haven't been feeling good either, so. But I'm going to keep on going until the day I die. Let's go to the next one. Wow. Alright, we're going to go to the next one. And if you've not noticed, I don't just talk about Donald Trump and Obama. I talked about all of them, so don't think that I'm just attacking one person. You're an idiot if you haven't been watching my YouTube channel.
People are finally waking up to the fraud that is Barack Hussein Obama. Just because he walks with a swoosh, just because he's well spoken, just because he's handsome, just because he's a ballet dancer, just because he's the President of the United States, doesn't mean he is honest. It doesn't mean he has integrity. It doesn't mean that he is a decent person. He is not. He's far, far from that. Watch these 2 short clips, and you will see that the illusion that Obama is a peacemaker and a force for democracy is in fact crumbling. Obama is a fraud. Obama is a liar. Obama is a charlatan. Obama is a killer of mass proportion. And don't be so petty to think I'm saying this because he is black. If you think it is, you need to grow the hell up, because it's one-dimensional thinking like that that's got us in this mess in the first place. It's time for us as a people to wake up, to grow up, and to start paying attention to what other people are doing in our name. We're already at the stage where Obama can murder any American citizen anywhere around the world for any reason he dreams up. You don't believe me? Or you haven't been paying attention, have you?
Taoiseach, I think it's important to take this opportunity to bring a bit of balance into the discussions around the visit of the US President and his wife, given the almost unprecedented slobbering over them that the nation has been exposed to over the last number of days. And it's really hard to know which is worse, whether it's the outpourings of the Obamas themselves or the sycophantic fawning over them by sections of the media and the political establishment. We've had separate and special news bulletins by the state broadcaster to tell us what Michelle Obama and her daughters had for lunch in Dublin, but very little questioning of the fact that she was having lunch with Mr. Tax Exile himself. We had very little challenging of the fact that she's glad to be home a country that she's been in less than a week, and that her husband has very tenuous links in. And of course, the biggest irony of all, the protestations of Obama himself in his speech to children in Northern Ireland about peace, when he said, "Those who choose the path of peace, I promise you that the United States of America will support you every step of the way. We will be the wind at your back." Now I ask you, is this person going for the Hypocrite of the Century award? Because we have to call things by their right names. And the reality is that by any serious examination, this man is a war criminal. He has just announced his decision to supply arms to the Syrian opposition, including the jihadists, fueling the destabilization of that region and continuing to undermine secularism and knock back conditions for women. This is the man who is in essence...
Okay. You heard it. It was not the Russians that helped the Syrians. It was Barack Hussein Obama. It was us. I thought you might want to know that. And it is true, and it's the honest truth, folks. He don't want you to have a kid. He wants you to kill kids. Barack Hussein Obama and Kamala Smith is together. They're family. They're family, folks. I thought you might want to know that. Like I said, your vote don't count. So don't even vote. Black, white, Hispanic, don't vote. I'm trying to save your life so you won't have a freaking pink and red dot on your mailbox.
Installing the Geneva peace talks by trying to broker enhanced leverage for the Syrian opposition by giving them arms, and to hell with the thousands more who lose their lives, or the tens of thousands more who will be displaced as this war goes on. This is the man who has facilitated a 200% increase in the use of drones, which have killed thousands of people, including hundreds of children. And you, Taoiseach, you are the one who's turned a blind eye on these activities. You've talked about the G8 being an opportunity to showcase Ireland. But is it not a reality that you have showcased us as a nation of pimps, prostituting ourselves in return for a pat on the head? To be honest with you, we were really speculating this morning whether you were going to deck the cabinet out in leprechaun hats.
By the way, she's right. Barack Hussein Obama was a pimp in Chicago. He sold prostitutes, men and women, and kids. What we're going through right now with the Walmarts. So I thought you might want to know that. It's not just Barack Hussein Obama, it's Trump involved too. Bush and the Clintons are all involved with all this, folks. They're pimping you out when you can't even pimp yourself out.
Decorated with a bit of stars and stripes to really mark abject humiliation here.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Justice Department sold weapons to narco-terrorists south of our border who killed one of our finest. The President's State Department lied about Benghazi with false information provided by the White House. The President's Attorney General authorized spying on a Fox News journalist and his family for reporting on a North Korean nuclear test. The President's Justice Department confiscated phone records.
Fox News broadcast was Glenn Beck. And the other one, the other situation was Paul Walker. They murdered Paul Walker.
Of the Associated Press because they reported on a thwarted terrorist attack. The President's Treasury Department uses the IRS to target political opposition. The President's Health and Human Services Secretary pressures the insurance companies
she is supposed to regulate to promote Obamacare, which is the same law she uses to force citizens to pay for abortion-inducing drugs against their religious liberties.
Yep.
Mr. Speaker, the president's dishonesty, incompetence, vengefulness, and lack of moral compass lead many to suggest that he is not fit to lead. The only problem is that his vice president is equally unfit and even more embarrassing.
Mr. President, thank you. In China,
And
Syria...
by the way, if you did not know that, Joe Biden is trying to run for president, and he's touching little kids on national television on C-SPAN. That's where our kids disappeared. We had over 22,000 kids disappear with Barack Hussein Obama and Trump. I mean, not Trump. Trump's involved too, okay? But Barack Hussein Obama and Joe Biden, along with Senator Clinton, had something to do with it. Guys, it's sure is funny that we have a show coming on, or coming out, next month, called The Purge, episode 10 on USA. And I tried to tell you it was coming. And I tried to tell you they're reversing it. They're not coming to get your guns, folks. They're about to have you to kill each other. And that's their plan. Well, if we can't stop abortions, we're gonna have everybody get shot and killed. I think we need to reverse it and get them. They're the ones that took your jobs. We didn't take your jobs. The government did. They're the ones that signed the executive orders on the coal mines and the coal truckers. And when we lost that, we lost our bread and milk, folks. I just thought you might want to know that. We need to go after the government, not us. Because we're the ones that's being enslaved. And let's go see it. There's another one on there? No, we're going to another one. There, we'll go to the next one. Okay, yeah. Obama speaks out at Bilderberg, worried about nuclear bomb in Manhattan. He knows somebody's about to blow it up, or he has ordered Iran to blow you up. Didn't think about that, did you? That's why you got this smart brain right here.
Egypt and now in Russia, we've seen you make strong statements, issue warnings that have been ignored. Are you concerned that America's influence in the world, your influence in the world, is on the decline? And in the light of recent developments, do you think Mitt Romney had a point when he said that Russia is America's biggest geopolitical foe? If not Russia, who? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you think these sanctions will change Vladimir Putin's calculation, will cause him to back down? And do you see where do you see a Russian red line where if they go any further, if they go into eastern Ukraine, into Moldova, where options beyond sanctions have to be considered? Thank you.
Well, Jonathan, I think if the premise of the question is that whenever the United States objects to an action and other countries don't immediately do exactly what we want, that's been the norm, that would pretty much erase most of 20th century history. I think that there's a distinction between us being very clear about what we think is an appropriate action, what we stand for, what principles we believe in, versus what is, I guess, implied in the question, that we should engage in some sort of military action to prevent something. The truth is that the world's always been messy. And
thanks to y'all,
what the United States has consistently been able to do, and we continue to be able to do, is to mobilize the international community around a set of principles and norms, and where our own self-defense may not be involved, We may not act militarily. That does not mean that we don't steadily push against those forces that would violate those principles and ideals that we care about. Yes, you're right. The Syrian civil war is not solved. And yet, Syria has never been more isolated. With respect to the situation in Ukraine, we have not gone to war with Russia. I think there's a significant precedent to that in the past. That does not mean that Russia's not isolated. In fact, Russia's far more isolated in this instance than it was 5 years ago with respect to Georgia, and more isolated than it was certainly during most of the 20th century when it was part of the Soviet Union. The point is that there are always going to be bad things that happen around the world. And the United States is the most powerful nation in the world, understandably, is looked to for solutions to those problems. And what we have to make sure we're doing are that we are putting all elements of our power behind finding solutions, working with our international partners, standing up for those principles and ideals in a clear way. There are going to be moments where military action is appropriate. There are going to be some times where that's not in the national security interests of the United States or some of our partners. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to make the effort or speak clearly about what we think is right and wrong. And that's what we've done. With respect to Mr. Romney's assertion that Russia is our number one geopolitical foe, the truth of the matter is that America's got a whole lot of challenges. Russia is a regional power that is threatening some of its immediate neighbors, not out of strength, but out of weakness. Ukraine has been a country in which Russia had enormous influence for decades, since the breakup of the Soviet Union. We have considerable influence on our neighbors. We generally don't need to invade them in order to have a strong cooperative relationship with them. The fact that Russia felt compelled to go in militarily and lay bare the violations of international law indicates less influence, not more. And so my response then continues to be what I believe today, which is Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the number one national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan, which is part of the reason why the United States, showing its continued international leadership, has organized a forum over the last several years that's been able to help eliminate that threat in a consistent way.
It's time for laughter and for play. Time for celebration.
So you hear that? Obama is telling you a bomb is about to hit Manhattan. He knows it's about to happen because he ordered it. Look, you ever heard of a con artist? That's what Obama is. He come in here to ruin your freedom. I thought you might want to know that, Americans. If we even still have Americans out there, I see a bunch of them cowards. Don't want to talk because they're scared. You know who you need to be scared of? Yourself. Because the ones that don't talk are the ones that's going to die first. Mark my words. The ones that don't talk are the ones that's going to die first. And you know how the Joker said, I'm glad you're dead. I'm glad you're dead. And I'm not. I'm your Batman, and I'm going to save you. And I'm going to tell you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. Don't vote, folks. If you vote, you're dead. You're going to look like Shinsuke Nakamura getting your balls bit off by a canine dog. Alright, what's next? Got another one? Nope, that's it. I'll go to the next story. Since we got a couple more matches left. Kind of shocked to see that the other guy made it to the next round. Dash Wild or whatever his name is. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Breaking news on the dust storm.
Go for easy CT.
And if you want to survive and you want your freedom still, give me a like.
Guided intervention with Guide and Go.
Because I work with the Marines militia. And they're the ones that's going to keep you safe. The ones that don't, and they love them fake channels like Alex Jones and all the others, you're like sheep following death.
Well, here we go again for sure. There is another thick African dust cloud heading for Houston. And really other parts of Texas could get hit by this big time. We had just witnessed this massive dust storm roll through Arizona. If you've never seen one of those events in person, they are a sight to behold. I actually got a chance to witness one in Arizona over a decade ago. It was on the top of Mount Lemon, and we were looking out and we seen it heading in toward the area. It was really, really crazy looking. I mean, as far as the eye could see from that high, you could see just this wall of darkness heading your way. By the time we got into the truck and got down to the bottom of the mountain and into town, it had done hit, and it was like, a blackout. You couldn't see a few feet in front of you, and it was like that for a few hours.
That's great. Awesome. Because the ones that's unsubscribing and subscribing, they're already killing them. They already know where they're at.
For some time till it moved through and cleared out, and then it was clear skies again. But anytime you have heavy winds in a desert atmosphere, and then you have trade winds that can pick that up, it can carry that across the ocean and take it long, long distances. And what they're saying right now is that this cloud will be just as thick, if not thicker, than the cloud that turned Houston into this gray haze at the end of June. They're saying that the thickest part will be passing over Houston Sunday and Monday. So anyone that has any kind of breathing problems, health issues pertaining to something like that, may want to heed this. They're saying most of these fine dust particles will stay suspended thousands and thousands of feet above the ground, but some may drop into your territory, causing issues, respiratory issues. So a heads up. As this massive dust cloud is making its way toward the United States, something people down there in the Gulf are going to have to deal with. I will leave a link below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for the latest. And I want to thank everyone out there that goes ahead and shows support for this channel, especially in these trying times after losing 777. It's appreciated to the fullest. It's been Dabu.
You heard what he said, guys. Florida. This is what I'm going to call out right now. I'm looking at the dust storm right now. It's gigantic. I'm going to put it on my Facebook. And Doc Oscar, if you want to see it, you can. But it's heading toward Texas. But I see Florida involved. He didn't even say Florida. And I don't understand that because this thing is gigantic. And another one right behind it. Damn. That match didn't last long, did it? Florida, you're going to be swallowed whole, okay? Parts of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Phoenix, and California. This is thicker than the other one. Like I said, it'll be here by Sunday or Monday. But I think Florida will get it by tomorrow. Okay? This is how big this thing is, guys. It's gigantic and it is engulfed Beryl. It's right now in Beryl right now. That tropical storm. Okay? So that is a big situation. We're looking at Hurricane Chris Christie, which I've got good news on that. It's going to go right on past the United States. Thank God. Right now. It could change, though. So that's good. And it's going to head toward Europe. Who would have thunk the storm is going to hit Europe? But yeah. Let's go to the next one. Battleground. All right. We're going to this. What's the next news story we got here? We got a bunch. I told you I had a bunch of stuff. I already told you breaking news. Israel attacking Damascus, Syria. I told you Damascus was going to be in heat and ruins before World War III starts. And this is what I got to tell you. They've been blaming Russia when you need to be blaming us. The United States, Barack Hussein Obama, before he left office, folks, he gave the weapons to Israel and Syria to fight against each other. But that's not all. That's not all. Iran is involved. Okay? Who did they order all these chemicals the other day? It's the same chemicals they put on the Syrians, the families. And I'm saying this right now. They're murdering kids, just like they're doing right now in the Walmarts. And I'm going to say this one more time. It's not just Trump. It's all of them. Until you make a stand and you fight for your rights and everybody else's rights, you're dead. This is coming out of the Marines militia. They said you better start fighting or you're dead. But yeah, that dust storm is unbelievable, folks. It is going to swallow Florida and whole. I want you to know that right now. If you look at the damn thing, it looks like a gigantic seal. And then right behind it is another one. But it's not looking like this one that's coming up in front of it. Suspicious object hovering in the sky. I'm going to say it's a drone. Mr. MBBBB, I think it was a drone, buddy. Mr. MBB 333. And then I told you The Rock, Sean's V Entertainment is saying The Rock is coming back to a WWE ring. I think he's coming back to announce that he's going to run for president, and I think he's going to use the WWE to get the votes out. Like I said, what did I tell you about The Rock? He don't like kids, he eats kids, and he's a pedophile. I used to like the dude until they got the way he is. So, there you have it. Let's go to the next one. Go to the next story, please. They're still digging around Montana with a backhoe. And by the way, when this volcano erupts, folks, it's going to help the West Coast to go into the water. I thought you might want to know that. Parts of Utah parts of Oregon, parts of California, Las Vegas, Arizona, gone. That's a bunch of states. That's a bunch of people that's going to die for not listening to me. We have scientists from Berkeley saying that's why they're trying to burn everybody out of their houses to get them away. Because their plan is to kill you at the death camps. So you either fight back or die. Let's see here. Where's the other one at? I'm trying to go through the list here. I got more news. Got a lot of 9/11 stuff that's been popping up a lot lately. Is Donald Trump going to announce the 9/11 plot? Only time will tell. I don't think it's going to happen because he was involved. It shows it. Look at the sheep. I was supposed to send out that video, didn't I? You know what? I will. I will. It's coming. Okay, guys? I don't think he's going to announce. I think if he does announce it, he's going to announce martial law. So, why does people send me messages while I'm on live? I don't understand that. I can't get them until the end. Why are they talking about massive WrestleMania plans now? Big WrestleMania plans incoming. This is freaking July. We just got through WrestleMania. That's stupid. We are going into part 3 of Mel Gibson. Illuminati hates Mel Gibson. The NWO hates Mel Gibson because he is letting it all out. And I don't blame him. Mel Gibson, much respect, man. Viewers' discretion is advised. He does have a potty mouth. He might need some Orbit.
You need medication.
So I'll accept. And if you will not fucking admit that, get the fuck out. And I will make your goddamn life miserable. Alright?
You need medication.
What?
You need medication.
I need a woman. Not a fucking little girl with a fucking dysfunctional cunt. I need a fucking woman. I don't need medication. You need a fucking bat in the side of the head. Alright? How about that? You need a fucking doctor. You need a fucking brain transplant.
Yep.
You need a fucking soul.
I agree.
12 hours, Gibson says, are the beating heart of his Catholic faith. A Christ who transcends and redeems the darkness of the world by perfect goodness and light.
He was beaten for our iniquities. He was wounded for our transgressions. And by his wounds, we're healed. That's the point of the film. It's not about pointing the fingers. It's not about playing the blame game. It's about faith, hope, love, and forgiveness. That's the reality for me. I believe that. I have to.
Have to?
I have to.
For
my own sake. So I can hope. So I can live.
Mr. Gibson, over here to your left.
Not the kind of thing you often hear from one of the reigning princes of Hollywood, where Mel Gibson made his millions being funny and a fighter, braveheart, and heartthrob.
You don't have to sort of put the grab on him so much.
But he says this is the movie he was compelled to make.
You could have made a life of Jesus.
Yes.
Why the 12 hours?
I think that's the most intense part of the gospel account. It's the central point of what Christians believe. I mean, it's our belief that by the sin of the first people, original sin, that the gates were closed to us, to eternal life, and that his sacrifice as a redeemer of all mankind was to open the gates to all of us again.
You also see an unsettling face with shaved eyebrows, which turns demonic. It's Gibson's idea of satanic evil in the world.
It's attractive, yet it's intimidating. Masculine, yet feminine. For me, I think evil is something that when it comes to you, it's not necessarily going to come with a sign saying I'm evil. It usually will come in an enticing form.
And you said at one point that a big dark force didn't want us to make this film.
Sure.
What was the force?
What was the force? It's the thing you can't see. See, I'm a believer, by the way. So if you believe that there are big realms of good and evil, and they're slugging it out.
What does the evil side want?
Oh, it wants you. It wants you. People are capable of horrors, of atrocities. We're also capable of wonderful things, of good things. And we have the choice. What do we choose, And often, many of us, at different times, choose both things.
Which brings us to another story you can, in a sense, also see in the shadows on the screen. Gibson says the seed of this film was planted 13 years ago in his personal struggle with self-destruction and despair.
Let's face it, I've been to the pinnacle of what secular utopia has to offer, right? It's just this kind of everything. I've got money, fame, this, that, the other, and it's all been like here you go, like that. And it's like, okay. And when I was younger, I got my proboscis out and I dipped it into the font and sucked it up, all right? It didn't matter. There wasn't enough. It wasn't good enough. It's not enough. It leaves you empty. The more you eat, the emptier you get.
How bad did it get?
Oh, pretty bad. I think everybody in their life gets to a point where that happens, I think. Where they get to the moment of truth and they go, well, what is this all about? Am I going to jump? Am I going to go on? I don't want to do either. I don't want to live. I don't want to die. You ask yourself all those Hamlet questions. And eventually you just have to say, I'm not good enough to figure this out. I don't know. I just don't know. Help. If there's anything out there, help, And if you're lucky, you'll recognize the signs of that help.
So what caused the crisis? More on that later. But as Gibson's reborn spirituality led him to spend his own money making a movie about crucifixion, and not only that, in Aramaic and Latin with subtitles, what was the reaction in Hollywood? Well, first of all, that it was an anti-date movie, not exactly a career move. How many people tried to talk you out of doing this film?
Everybody.
He laughs at his pal Jack Nicholson.
Jack was wearing this lime green sort of stripy shirt, and there's a little more of him than there used to be. And he's choking down an ice cream cone. I went up to him and said, "Hey, Jack, how you doing?" He said, "How you doing, kid?" Like that. Good. He says, "How's Jesus treating you?"
Anybody almost change your mind?
No, not really. And now it's too late. I might as well just push the arrow through.
You said either crazy or an act of genius.
Yes.
Which?
That's an unfair question. You're asking me to comment on whether I'm mad or a genius. I think I'm somewhere between Howard Stern and St. Francis of Assisi on the scale of morality. I don't know.
But almost from the beginning, Gibson's statements fueled controversy. Like last summer, when he seemed to imply that the Holy Ghost had given him the one true version of the story. You said the Holy Ghost was working through me.
I've received a lot of ridicule for that statement. I think that the Holy Ghost is real. I believe that he's looking favorably on this film. And he wanted to help. I could always use a little help.
I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Thanks for the 2 likes. I'm sure I'll get more views after the live views, or the live show. Join me tomorrow for the 2 races. We got 2 races. No. It's 1 race. I'm sorry. The One Tough Customer race will be tomorrow. Okay. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you. Love you all. Scott Dawson goes to the next round. Whoever to thunk it. Got my Doritos championship that I created. Have a nice day. Thank you. Be safe.